Hello everyone. Some of the first few sections of engineering mechanics statics, these sections will require you to apply some of the things that you've learned in trigonometry. And some of these things would include the Pythagorean Theorem. So what is the Pythagorean Theorem? It's actually a right triangle. It's a triangle containing a 90-degree angle. So a Pythagorean theorem is a relation among the three sides of a right triangle, which states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the two sides. So we have here the equation of the Pythagorean theorem. So we have the hypotenuse equal to the square. The square of the hypotenuse is equal to the square of the two legs of the right triangle. So using the Pythagorean theorem, you can find the length of the missing side of a right triangle. So for example, using the Pythagorean theorem, using that equation, you can find the hypotenuse side, which is C, by squaring and taking the square root and taking the sum of the two legs. You can also solve for the side, one of the legs of the triangle, either the B or the A. So by just using the Pythagorean theorem. So in the Pythagorean theorem, C is the longest side of the triangle, and C is always the hypotenuse. So the other two sides are the legs of the triangle A and B, and you can exchange that if you want to. So there is also a special case of the Pythagorean theorem, which is we call it the right triangle, where the sides are 3, 4, 5. So if one side of the triangle is 3, the other side is 4, automatically the hypotenuse is 5. We call it the 3, 4, 5 triangle, or the Pythagorean triple. The two short sides are 3 and 4, and the hypotenuse is 5. All right, so that's a special case of a triangle. So yes, you will use this, this Pythagorean theorem when you solve forces, for example, forces or components of a force in the first sections of, even in the later sections of engineering mechanics statics. So I think it's good as well to review some of the things that you've learned in trigonometry, especially these ones, sine and the cosine laws. So I hope you still remember those, sine and cosine laws. So these are the 6 basic trigonometric functions, which I'm sure you already know. And those 6 trigonometric functions can be derived from the unit circle. So if you have here a circle and there's a point P on that circle, the point P, the coordinates of point P is x and y. So the distance on the x and the distance on the y. And if you look at it, those distances x and y are actually the sides of the triangle, a right triangle. And this side is the hypotenuse, or the radius of the circle. In this case, since it is a unit circle, the radius is 1 and the angle theta. So the point P is defined by the coordinates x and y, which are the sides of the triangle. So we will let P equal to be a point with coordinates x and y on the unit circle centered at the origin O. And we will let theta be the angle of the initial side along the positive x-axis and the terminal side driven by the line segment OP. And from that, the triangle, you can actually derive the 6 trigonometric functions. You see here, if you take the sine of theta, it is equal to y. Why is it equal to y? Let's go back to the figure. And here, the sine of this angle theta, remember what is the sine? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? And the opposite is this side, right? And the hypotenuse is 1. So it's actually opposite over 1. So this side is actually y divided by 1. Y divided by 1 is simply y. And if you take the cosine of theta, the answer would only be x. Why is it x? Let's go back again. The cosine of the angle theta, cosine, remember what is cosine? Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So what's the adjacent side? The adjacent side is actually this side here. That's the adjacent side, which is the x coordinate. And the hypotenuse is 1. So x divided by 1. X divided by 1 is simply equal to x. Therefore, the cosine of theta is just equal to x. The tangent of theta is y over x. Why? Because that's because tangent is simply sine over cosine. Right? The tangent is simply equal to the sine of theta divided by the cosine of theta. And the sine of theta is y. The cosine of theta is x. So it is y over x. From these three functions, you can derive these other three functions. If you look at it, the cosecant of theta is simply the inverse of sine. If sine is y, cosecant is 1 over y. Secant is the inverse of cosine. So if cosine is x, cosecant theta is 1 over x. Cotangent is the inverse of tangent. If tangent is y over x, cotangent is x over y. All right? So these are the 6 trigonometric functions which you need to remember, especially when you will be solving forces and components of force later on as we discuss the topics on forces and components. And from those 6 trigonometric functions, I think this is something that you also need to remember. Okay, you can also derive these other trigonometric identities. If you look at the triangle over there, then you can actually derive all those. As you can see, the x and y can also be substituted with x as r over cosine and y is r sine theta. If you go back to our equations, you can simply replace x and y with these 2 functions. From these 6 trigonometric identities, you can derive other trigonometric identities. For example, the reciprocal identity. These are the reciprocal identities. You can derive the Pythagorean identities. So from all the existing identities, you can also derive this. I hope you still remember how to derive these 3. Look at the form. They look like Pythagoreans, right? You see the square of both and then equal to 1. No? So that's why they are called Pythagorean identities. There are 3 of them. And other identities that you need to remember, maybe you can take a screenshot of this, print it out and post it somewhere else. Other formulas that you need to remember are addition and subtraction formulas. So here, if you add or subtract using sign, this is how you do it. And just take note, like for example here, when to use the plus and negative, right? And when you take the cosine of angles added, like this one, the cosine of 2 angles added, this is the formula. All right? Here's another one. Remember the double angle formulas? Here we have double angle, the cosine of 2 theta. That's a double angle. So what's the cosine of a double angle? This is a formula. So these formulas you need to remember. So these are shortcuts, no? Instead of deriving it yourself, if you can remember those formulas, then you can simply substitute values to the formula. And of course, we are familiar with the SOHCAHTOA. To remember the 3 or the 6 trigonometric identities, just remember the code. This is the code. So, ka, toa. So meaning opposite over hypotenuse. That means the sine, if you take the sine of the angle, it's equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse side. So katawa. So that's the meaning of so. Psi, the sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The CAH or the ka is actually the cosine. So the cosine is equal to the adjacent side. That means the side closest to the angle divided by the hypotenuse or the longest side. And toa is the tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Here's a little bit of description. So let's try the sine. As we know, sine is so it's the opposite over hypotenuse. So all you need to do is look at the angle. So the angle is here, theta is there. So where is the opposite side? The opposite side is here. That's the opposite to the angle. And the hypotenuse is here, which is the longest side. So the sine of theta is whatever is the side divided by this side. What about the cosine of theta? Cosine of theta is ka, C-A-H. That means if this is the angle, the adjacent side is this. That's the closest to the angle and the hypotenuse. So if for example, this is just an example. If the adjacent is 4 and this is 3 and this is 5, then you have the cosine is 4 over 5 and the sine is 3 over 5. And the tangent is toa or opposite over adjacent. So opposite over adjacent side. So it's 3 over 4. So just remember the code. It's a SOHCAHTOA. Yeah? SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA.